We are live, both platforms. I had to wait till both of them came on. So we live on both. Hope everybody's having a great, I don't even know what day it is a lot of times. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. We're just out here grinding, out here hustling. And I'm gonna help y'all with some hustle here today. So I'm gonna give a few moments, make sure this live is actually working. Sometimes Instagram be acting up over here, but I think we got this live working. So as y'all check in, you can check in the comment section, make yourself known, make your name known in the comment section. We're going to get started in a moment. If you are checking in on Facebook, you can do the exact same thing. Make yourself known in the comment section. We're going to get started in a moment. Let's see if we can get some traffic going in here. Either way, I'm going to get started. I don't care. But hope everybody's had a great Tuesday. It is super humid right now in Miami. It says this watch alleges that it's 85 degrees, but the humidity is ridiculous right now. I don't even know what it is, but it's ridiculously high. I can feel it, and I got everything's closed. The windows and doors is closed. The humidity is crazy. But if you're checking in on Facebook, hit that comment, like, and share button. If you're checking in on IG, leave a comment and make yourself known. We're going to get started in a moment. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to get right into the material. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Former 9-year professional athlete, author of 27 books. I feel like I'm about to sneeze, but I didn't. Author of 27 books. I've done 4 TED Talks. I published over 15,000 pieces of content. 15,000 pieces of content online, 7,000 of those on video. Another half of those is in articles on my website, dreallday.com. I got a daily masterclass podcast. I call it a masterclass. Y'all would know it as a podcast called Work on Your Game. I got another one called the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. I do all this under the umbrella of Work on Your Game. That's one of my books. That's this philosophy that I created. It's all about taking a pro athlete mindset and teach you how to apply that mindset in your business, your sport, and your life. And I made it for 3 specific types of people. Number 1, the person who needs more game. Number 2, the person who needs better performance. And number 3, the person who needs more attention and recognition for what you do. And what we're talking about here today is changing yourself before you change others. It's easier to change yourself. It's easier to do something and make change from within than it is to make change from without. And that's not exactly what I mean, but from the outside. It's easier to make change starting with yourself from the inside out than to try to make change from the outside in, even though most people would rather create change from the outside in, because change from the outside in doesn't require any effort from you, or at least it doesn't require as much effort. Or it's much easier to tell somebody else to change, or try to force somebody else to change, or force something else to change, than it is to look at ourselves and say, all right, I need to change. I need to do something different. What's going on, Nick from North Carolina? Instead of saying I need to change, I need to do something different, which puts all the onus on you as the individual, and you're fully accountable to yourself, is much easier effort-wise and accountability-wise to point at somebody else and say, you need to change, you need to do something different, you need to fix yourself. And this is the reason why most people don't change in life, because they put their attention and energy on outside things. Externalities is what we call that. Anything external outside of yourself that you want to change, or you think is a problem, or something you think is causing an issue, or slowing you down, or oppressing you in your life, is something outside of yourself. But if you never look inside to yourself, then first of all, you never change, because if you're not looking at yourself, you're not going to notice your flaws, you're not going to change. And second of all, you may never get that outside change that you're looking for. The outside thing, that system or that person or that setup or that unfairness, whatever it is you think is in your way, it may never change. It might just say, you know what, it's not going to change. It's going to be like that, and you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do. And if it doesn't change, what are you going to do? If you don't have a plan to do something for yourself, then you may never see anything change in your life. And you're going to be like, y'all remember that movie Groundhog Day, where the guy just lived the same day over and over again for his whole life? That's going to be you, living Groundhog Day, because you're waiting for things on the outside to change instead of taking advantage of the thing that you can control. And always remember, and this is not something that you need to know, this is something you already know, but always remember that the only thing that you ever have 100% control over is yourself. You do not control the industry that you're in. You don't control other people. I don't care who those people are. You don't control your own significant other. You don't control your kids. You don't control your husband or wife, your parents, your brother or sister, the people who live on your block. You don't control some people who live across the country from you. You don't control other people. You don't control entire systems unless you own the system. Then you can change it. But other than that, if you're waiting for those things to change or saying that those things need to change, and that's the key to your success or your progress is based on those things changing, you have a problem, because they may never change. And if they do change, they might not change the way you want them to change or the way that you think you need them to change, or they might just change, but by the time they change, it's too late, and the opportunity that you were looking for is long gone. The opportunity has passed. So now you can't do anything with it, even though the change did eventually occur. So this is why what we're going to talk about here today is why you need to put yourself in a more empowered position of focusing on how you can change and what you can do to bring about the adjustments that you want in your life through yourself from the inside out. Because this is the thing that you actually can control. You cannot control any other type of change. So if you're interested in that, taking some control over yourself, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. And I want you to understand that in life is inevitable that you're going to deal with jerks, assholes, nasty bitches, people with terrible attitudes, others of similar ilk, just people who are just idiots and dummies and negative people, and people who may stand to want to bring you down, or they just want to bring negativity into other people's lives because they already got negativity in their own lives. I'm not telling you that these people don't exist. I'm telling you that you can't control them, because they were like that before they met you, and they're going to keep being like that no matter what you do. So today, what you need to think about is how you can adjust yourself to adjust to the existence of other people and other situations in life that you cannot control in productive ways, other than doing something negative towards that person, because that might not be productive. You might get arrested for that. Point number one, you got to make better people decisions. I talk about association all the time on my masterclass called Work on Your Game. It comes out every day. Y'all can access that at Work on Your Game University, which is the link right down there at the bottom. See, if you're around other people who are jerks, and you think people are not serious, or they're not doing what they need to do, or they're just not bringing any positivity into your life, and you're like, how do I get rid of these people? The easiest way to get rid of them, or how do you change them? The easiest way to change them is to get rid of them. Is the best way to do it. Get from around those people. Your job is to surround yourself with people who are going to make you better, who are going to push you to go to a higher level, who are going to inspire you to be the best version of yourself. And if you're around people right now who you don't feel are fitting that description, they're not inspiring you to be better, they're not pushing you to go harder or go further, you just don't feel like you're a better version of yourself when you're around those people, then the mistake is yours. Why are you still hanging around people who are not making you better? Why would you do that? Why are you hanging around people who make you worse? Why are you spending time with people who their very presence is bringing your energy down, is sucking energy out of you, is bringing you to a lower frequency of energy radiation? Why would you hang around those people? Or what are you doing? If you know that they're making you worse and you keep hanging around them anyway, then it's not their fault that they're negative. Because again, they were negative 3 weeks ago. They were negative 2 years ago, but you keep hanging with them. So the problem is not theirs. All right, they never changed. All right, they've been consistent the entire way through. The problem is you, because you're not doing anything different. So your job is sizing up people and understanding who you're engaging with, so you know who you're around. All right, how many times in life have you ended up in a bad situation just because you were dealing with the wrong person? You didn't necessarily do anything wrong. You weren't trying to be negative. You weren't trying to fail or get in trouble, but you ended up in some trouble. You ended up failing. You ended up being in something that you had to deal with simply because you were around some people who were just bad influences. This is all the law of association. Okay? If you're in the room where the wrong thing is happening, that means you're in the room where the wrong thing is happening. If you're hanging around people who are doing stupid stuff, that means you are hanging around people who are doing stupid stuff. You understand the emphasis in that sentence? If you're around people who are making you worse, that means you are around people who are making you worse. And if you can identify this, what are you doing? Why are you staying there? Why aren't you changing? If you're on a train, I've used this analogy, I don't know if I said this here or on one of my master classes, but if you're on a train that you're supposed to go north, but you're on the train, you realize the train is going south, what are you going to do? Are you just going to stay on the train and let it go all the way as far south as it goes and then maybe get off the train and do something about your situation? Or would you get off at the next stop, go to the other side of the platform, and get on the train that's going north because you realize you're going in the wrong direction? In life, when you realize that you're doing something that is not working, that is not serving you, it is your job to take some action to change that situation. You can't just let it keep going the way that it's going. An ounce of prevention, as they say, is worth a pound of cure. Point number 2, the topic here today is changing yourself first before you try to change anybody else. Remember that people don't think how you think. In other words, everybody doesn't have the same common sense that you have. Everybody does not have the same intelligence that you have. Everybody doesn't have the same logic and reason. They don't think the same way that you think. So how you would respond to a situation is not one of the 10 commandments handed down from Jesus. Everybody doesn't respond to things the exact same way. So when someone doesn't do things the way that you want them to do, it's your job to either communicate with them how you would want them to respond if you think you can change that, or adjust to what they are and who they are, or find yourself some new associations. That is your job. So when someone acts or responds differently from you, don't be surprised because they're not you. All right, don't be surprised when somebody's not exactly like you and they don't think like you, because what the hell did you expect? I know people who are great at, not great, but people who like to smoke all the time, but they want to be good at basketball. They can't because their lungs aren't always healthy because they smoke too much. And why not just stop smoking is what I would think to them. All right, you want to be good at basketball, but you always smoking. And they're like, yeah, I know. They laugh about it. I say, all right, well, then you can think to yourself, why don't that person just stop smoking? Well, I mean, if they thought like me, then we wouldn't be having the conversation. But they don't think like me. So even though they want to have better endurance, they keep smoking every single day, destroying their lungs. So they're kind of fighting against their own wishes, which makes no sense, right? That sounds stupid, right? Well, listen, some people are stupid. Some people do things that make no sense. Some people just don't have the same logic and reason and common sense that you have. And again, that's why the point is, it's easier to change yourself than it is to change other people. So have you ever come across a person who was doing something that just did not make sense based on what they said they wanted or where they said they wanted to go in life, and then looking at their actions just didn't add up? Like, wait a minute, you said you wanted to do this, but you're doing these actions that are actually counterbalancing what you're doing. They're actually making it harder for you to achieve your goal. Why do you keep doing that thing? You said you wanted this outcome, but you keep doing something that's hurting your chances. Why would you keep doing it? And they can't really explain it. Or maybe you never asked them because maybe you think they might get offended, or you don't know how to word it. But you can just see clearly that what they're doing is not actually helping them, but they keep doing it anyway. You're like, what is wrong with this person? Nothing's wrong with them. That's just who they are. All right, some people, again, everybody doesn't think the way that you think. So when somebody's messing up, don't try to change them, because it ain't going to work. You're going to waste your time trying to change another person. You've never succeeded at changing another person before. If someone changed because of your influence, you didn't change them. They changed because they wanted to. Your influence inspired them, but you're not the one who did the change. You cannot change another person. You can help influence another person. You can inspire a person. You can be an example for a person, but you cannot change a person. If somebody chooses not to change in life, it's not your fault that they didn't change. It's not your responsibility to make them change. And if they do change, it's not because of you. Or you might think it's because of you. Your ego is telling you that, but it's not really. It's because of them. Anytime somebody changes, it's because they decided to. Point number 3. Today's topic is changing yourself before you try to change other people. Don't ever try to change other people. Anytime you want change in life, don't look at other people and try to change them. Look at yourself and say, what can I do that will put me in a better position to where my influence and my example will motivate and inspire other people to change, rather than try to force other people to change. All right, that's the question that you need to ask yourself. That's not even point number 3. Point number 3 is choosing wisely. And choosing wisely could be what I just said. Choosing wisely in terms of the people you deal with, in terms of the way that you think, in terms of the way that you decide to look at situations. You could choose, when you see a person who's doing the wrong thing, or somebody's doing something that's just annoying to you, you could choose to try to force them to change. Just yell at them and tell them why they're wrong, and present them all the facts and the stats and the data for why they're incorrect. This is what most people do, and it never works. Or here's what you could do instead. You could choose to set the example of what you want that other person to be, or set the example of how you're going to treat them despite the fact that they're dumb, despite the fact that they're stupid, despite the fact they keep doing things that are not helping them out. Set that example, and if your example is strong enough and you're consistent enough with your example, other people will eventually come around to your way of doing things, as long as you respect their way. Even if you think their way is stupid, even if you think their way is not working for them, if you respect them as a person and allow them to be who they want to be, and that's a way of showing somebody respect, by letting them be who they want to be. You can offer them something that could help them, but if they don't want to listen, let them be who they want to be. If you respect them enough to do that, people will eventually come around to seeing your way of seeing things. And it's not as simple as it sounds, but you got to have the discipline to do this. There are people out there who are the right people for you, who may be disguised as the wrong people because bad influences, because of ignorance, because of environment. If only somebody could show them the way, they might have higher potential than what they're currently showing. I believe this. There are people out there right now in life who they look like the wrong type of person. The way that they're living their life, they're not really getting to a positive way. They're not going in a positive direction right now. But if they had the right information, if they got in the right environments, if they got around the right people, they would probably start getting some positive results in their life. I 100% believe this. So it depends on your perspective, how you want to deal with other people in life. Some people are like those, community activist type of individuals. They like to hang around the bottom of the pyramid of life and try to help pull other people up from the bottom of that pyramid and pull them up. Some people go to the top of the pyramid and they just stand up there and wait, and they look down at the people at the bottom and say, look, if y'all want to come up here, you can't get up here, but you got to do the work. I'm not pulling you up. I will send the elevator down, but you got to get on the elevator and you got to work your way up here. But I'm letting you know that it is possible to get up here. And you can choose in your own way which way you want to do it. Some people go to the middle. I'll help a few people up, and then some people I'm going to tell them they got to come meet me, but I'm going to be right here in the middle. You got to decide how you want to deal with other people. It depends on your perspective. Some go to the bottom, some hang at the top. Other people, again, somewhere in between. I'll put myself somewhere in between where I will offer things to help people get their game better, but at the same time, I'm not going to go preach to people who don't want to hear it. Like I'm a person who preaches to the choir. And what that means is you share your message with people who actually want to hear it. So when that comes to me, my products, or doing this live, or sending out an email, or my game group membership, master classes, whatever I'm doing, I like to talk to an audience of people who have a good idea of what I'm going to talk about and they're interested in it, but I'm not trying to force feed any of my opinions or beliefs on anybody who ain't trying to hear it. You don't want to hear it, it's all good. You ain't got to listen. But some people like to go force it on other people because they feel like that's the way that works for them. And we need that. We need people at all levels of the pyramid so that everybody can see that it's possible to get there. And there's somebody at each level that can help other people move up. Point number 4, that's the last point. Topic here today is changing yourself before you change other people. It's the 51-49 rule. This rule is really simple. Whenever you want help in life from another person, from a higher being, from luck, from chance, from your strategy, whatever, you must do 51% of the work. You got to have at least 51% of the ownership of what you have going on. What that means is whatever you have going on, you must be doing the majority of the work. That's 51% to 49%. You add that up, you get 100. You can't expect another person, whether that's your mentor, your friend, your coach, your agent, your manager, your whoever you have on your side who's supposed to be helping you get to where you want to get to, you need to be doing the majority of the work. The bulk of the work should be done by you, not by him, her, them, or they, or it. You have to have complete ownership. And if push comes to shove, you and that person can't decide on something, you cast the deciding vote. Why? Because you have ownership. You have a majority ownership stake. If you own 51% of a business, nobody else in that company can ever own more than you. All right, it's impossible. You add up all the rest that's left, it only adds up to 49%. So even if somebody bought out everybody else, they would still only have 49%. You have a controlling stake in what's going on. So you, having a controlling stake in the business of your own life, you must always take the most responsibility, take the most on your shoulders, and when things go right, you're going to get the majority of the praise, and when things go wrong, you got to take the majority of the responsibility, if you want to call it, blame. This is the way that it works all in life. You do the majority of the work, and people start helping you when you start helping yourself. I talked about this yesterday. Nobody wants to jump on a bandwagon with 4 flat tires. All right, it ain't going nowhere. Nobody wants to follow a person who ain't got nothing going on. A dog doesn't chase a parked car. It chases the cars that are moving. So you got to make momentum start happening in your life first. That's when everybody else will start helping you. And this is just the way it works in all of life. How many times a day do you pass a beggar or a homeless person on the street asking for change or asking for $1 and you ignore them as if they're not even there? They need it, but nobody wants to give them anything. And then how often have maybe you've experienced as yourself in your own life, or maybe you've seen or heard somebody who has a lot of stuff. They got a lot of material, they have a lot of money, they are well resourced, and then they go somewhere and people want to give them everything for free. It's very paradoxical, right? That a person who has everything gets stuff for free. They ain't got to pay for it, even though they can very well afford it. And a person who ain't got nothing, nobody wants to give them anything, not even a couple pennies for free. Why is that? It's the law of the universe. The energy that you conduct yourself with is the energy that you're going to get back. You conduct yourself as a person who has nothing, and you always need something, and you're always begging, and you need people to help you out. You are just recreating that energy. You're always going to be begging. You're always going to have nothing. You're always going to need people to help you out. You're always going to have to beg for the scraps of life. The energy you're conducting yourself with is the energy that you're recreating. Now, if you're a person who has everything, materially, you have everything, emotionally, you got everything that you need in your life. All your needs are taken care of, and you just feel like you live a life of abundance. You're going to carry yourself with an energy of abundance. And what happens when you carry yourself with that energy is that more abundance finds its way to you. It's just the way that it works. This is why, again, y'all heard the saying, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Why is that? That's because poor people think like poor people. And that's why they keep creating in their own lives, through their minds, more reasons and more circumstances that keep them poor. And people who are rich, they think with a rich mindset. So what happens to them? They keep getting and manifesting in their lives more reasons and more resources and more items that make them feel rich. And what about people? So you might ask, well, Dre, what about somebody who's somewhere in the middle? Maybe somebody who's in the middle class or the lower middle class or the upper middle class, or they're somewhere in between those two extremes. How is that person thinking to be where they are? Well, look at your own life. All right, you are where you are based on your consistent, persistent mental attitudes, ideas, and dominant thoughts. That's how you got to where you are right now. By thinking the way that you are always thinking. Somebody said Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah, I'm sure this is in Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is the manifestation of the energy that you carry. It reflects itself in your life. So if you want to make change in your life, understand that the starting point is not looking at the system or the company or the organization or the rules or whatever you think it is that is blocking you or getting in your way or slowing you down. It starts with you looking at yourself, because even if you think that an organization or a company is blocking you or slowing you down, the problem is they may never change. Just because you said they did something wrong doesn't mean they're going to stop doing it. Just because you said you want them to change doesn't mean they're actually going to change. Just because they change doesn't mean they're going to change the way you want them or need them to change. Just because they change doesn't mean they're going to change when you want them to do it. You might want them to change right now. It might be 5 years before they change. What you going to do between now and then? So you must continue to empower yourself by reminding yourself that the only thing that you control, the only person you control, the only organization you always have your fingers on a button where you could do anything, is the organization of you incorporated. That's the only thing you always have control over. Now, there may be other things you control, depending on what you own, what kind of businesses you got, and your portfolio and all that. But you personally, you always got control over that. And you got to make sure you own that control. Owning it means next time you want something to change in life, the first question you got to ask yourself is, what do I need to do? Just like Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson had a song called Man in the Mirror. What does he say in that song? I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Once I deal with the man in the mirror, then I can make the rest of the world change. He said, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. This is what everybody needs to do. And frankly, if everybody in the world followed this formula that I just gave you right here, like people like me would be out of business, or at least as far as this part of my business, I wouldn't be talking about this stuff because everybody would already be doing it. Everyone would already agree to it. And I wouldn't need to say it because everybody's already following it. Nobody would be like, damn, I never heard that before. I never thought about that. They gave me something new, Dre. Anytime somebody hears this and they say it's something new, then that means I still got more work to do. Because this is the way, if everybody in the world thought like this, a whole lot of things would be different. There'd be a whole lot more personal accountability in the world. Not so much blaming, not so much finger pointing, not so much, well, is this person's fault? Is this person's responsibility? Is this system? Is this setup? Is this job? Is this company? It'd be more, all right, what am I doing? If everybody looked at their life in the scope of what am I doing that is causing the situations in my life, everything would be different. All right, I would be different. I would have to do different things. All this stuff that I'm talking about, most of the material in this book, I wouldn't even need to write it because everybody would already have it. Or this would be like the Bible, right? The Bible just gets passed around because everybody agrees with it already. Hopefully I wrote mine first. So if the world changes and the material in here becomes the Bible, then this will be in every hotel you go in. There'll be a little Bible in the drawer. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Yes, 100%. Self-accountability. That's the name of the game. Soul Art New York. That's what this whole book is about. Self-accountability. That's why it's called work is the first step. And then your game. See that red? Your game. Not their game, not the system's game, not the company's game, not the industry game. Your personal game. And if everybody worked on their own game, listen, I mean, I can't even, I could write a whole book just how the world would be different if everybody just worked on their own game. But now, I'm going to recap these points. First, I'm going to tell you how you can get both of these books I got here in front of me for free. Then I'm going to recap these points. And if there's a question, then somebody can go ahead and post it in the comments section. So this book right here, I'm going to send you this one for free. This is the starter kit right here. For anybody who's never heard of me or you never consumed any of my material outside of a Facebook page or Instagram account, this is the first product that you can get of mine. It's called The Mirror of Motivation. This book is a self-guide to self-discipline that I wrote for anyone who wants to step out of whatever that old version of you has been and step into a new version of you with a new energy, a new approach to life, a new way of seeing yourself in the mirror, which will change the way the world sees you, which will change the results that you get in your life. If that sounds like the type of person you want to become, If it's not, then it's all good. I can't help you. But if you do want to be that person, get this book for free right now by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. I made the book free. I already paid for it. All you got to do is take care of the shipping. Just go to mirrorofmotivation.com. The book's paid for. You cover the shipping. I got you. This is the book you start with. If you never heard of me before, you have no idea anything else about me but what you've seen on this live, go to mirrormotivation.com. This book right here is called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This one is for a specific type of individual. The title tells you everything. If you want to play professional basketball overseas, even if you've been overlooked, underrated, nobody's ever paid attention, you never got a real opportunity, but you know you had a talent to play pro basketball overseas, I believe you. That's why I wrote this blueprint. I didn't write this for me. I already know the blueprint. It's already in my head. I wrote this down for players like you who are serious about playing ball overseas. Go to balloverseas.com. Isn't that coincidental? Balloverseas.com. Get this book. The book's paid for. You take care of the shipping. Again, if you want to play professional basketball overseas. Now I'm going to recap these points right here. The topic here, and then I'm going to take questions. The topic here is changing yourself before you try to change other people. Point number one, make better people decisions. All right, if everybody around you is a person that you're thinking of how you can change them, that means you probably are around the wrong people. Find better friends, make better friends, be a better person, and you will attract better people to you. Point number two, people do not think how you think. So when someone thinks a way that's different from you, do not be shocked, do not be surprised, don't be upset, because other people ain't you. They are who they are, and if you think the way they're thinking is completely crazy and ridiculous and stupid, well, then you got to ask yourself, why were you so crazy, ridiculous, and stupid to have them as friends? Point number three, choose wisely. It's easier to get around the right people than it is to change the wrong people. This one is not as simple as it sounds on the surface, because sometimes somebody could be a right person, but because of wrong influences, they seem to be a wrong type of individual. So you got to ask yourself, are you the type of person that work with someone to try to find that diamond in the rough, or are you the type of person who just wants to find someone who's already polished and is already a diamond? And I'll give you a hint to that one. If you want to get around people who are diamonds in the rough, it's easier when you're already one. And if you want to get around people who are already diamonds, it's easier when you are already a diamond. So whichever one you are, those are the kind of people you're going to be attracting. So pay attention. And point number four, the 51-49 rule. Anytime you want things to change in life, you must be a majority owner of that change. Meaning you must own at least 51% of the situation. When you own 51% of the situation, you can do something about it. When you don't own a majority stake, then somebody else is in control of whether things change or not. And if they don't change and nothing changes for you, what are you going to do? Just complain for the rest of your life? Hopefully you got a better strategy than that. So now, all that being said, if there is a question, if you got a question on Facebook, if y'all working on Facebook, go ahead and you can make yourself known through that like, comment, share button. And on Instagram, we will, let's see. R. Burnett was good. Soul Art New York was going on. JN says people be focused on what the next person is doing. They don't realize they need to work on themselves first. Well, they realize it. They just don't want to do it because it's easier. I said this at the top of this presentation. It's much easier to point at what somebody else needs to do than it is to point at ourselves. Because when we point at what somebody else needs to do, we have no accountability. We're not responsible for any of the work. See, hard work is easy when everybody else is doing it. Hard work is very easy when you're not the only one. When you're the one who's telling people what to do, but you don't have to actually do anything. Hard work becomes really hard when you're personally accountable for it. Papa Glass, what's going on? All right, we ain't got any other questions. I'm going to tell you about this book right here. Somebody else got a question, go ahead and post it. I'll give you like 30 seconds. This book is called Work on Your Game, Using the Pro Athlete Mindset to Dominate Your Game in Business, Sports, and Life. In this book, I took all of my best of my philosophy. I put it into a 250-page hardcover book. That is this book right here. And I'm going to give you over $1,200 in digital bonuses when you order this book at workonyourgamebook.com. That's where you get the bonuses. Now, the book is available on all platforms, but at workonyourgamebook.com, that's where you get the $1,200 in digital immediate bonuses. So while you're waiting for this book to come in the mail, I just got off the phone with the publisher earlier today. They called me. I just ordered another box full of these books. So we're going to have them ready to ship. They already ready to ship. I got one right here. So workonyourgamebook.com. Get the $1,200 in digital bonuses. And, of course, you want to get this hardcover book, Work on Your Game. This is a very well-written book. We spent over a year editing this book, not writing the book. I wrote the book in 30 days. We spent a year editing this book to make sure that every word was perfect. Every I dotted, every T crossed, everything sounds perfect. Everything is ordered the right way. This book is everything right here. Again, workonyourgamebook.com. Question is, are you going to have some new shirts or shorts that be on my story? You mean like merchandise to sell? I ain't never really been big into merchandise. I mean, I appreciate the question. Maybe I will one day, but honestly, I like selling books more than I like selling merchandise. But I might get into the merchandise game. Merch, it has always, for me, been first of all, you got to find the suppliers. There's a little bit more work selling merchandise than it is selling books. And there's a lot more competition selling merchandise. Everybody got clues. Everybody can't write a book, but anybody can make a t-shirt. So there's a little less competition in the book game than it is the merchandise game. But again, I might get into it. I mean, I got, like you said, I got shorts. I got this hat that I got on, t-shirts, stuff like that. Yeah, so I get it. Question is, can I talk about the Super You? Well, the Super U's subtitle is Unlocking and Living with Your Highest Level of Confidence. So, I mean, what else I got to say about it? I mean, I think that tells you exactly what the book is. Unlocking and Living with Your Highest Level of Confidence. That's the Super You. That's part of the Bulletproof Bundle. When you claim your free copy of this book right here, we'll offer you an option where you can get the whole Bulletproof Bundle, which is 4 books. This is one. Mental Handbook, Super You, 100 Mental Game Best Practices. So yes, I just talked about the Super You real quick, like you asked. Somebody said, how do I turn away friends when I know I need to stay focused? Don't answer the phone. Lord GBA was good. Soul R said, working your game is a classic. That's a fact. And Super You had me feeling bold as fuck. That's what's up. That's a fact. We're going to use that as a testimonial. All right, so again, mirrormotivation.com is where you can start. If you have never read or purchased anything from me, you ain't got to purchase this. I already purchased it. All you do is pay for the shipping. I'll ship it to you worldwide. Doesn't matter where you live. Mirrormotivation.com. If anybody here is an overseas player or you plan on being one, balloverseas.com. And then the next step, after you read this one, as a matter of fact, when you go claim your copy of this, you know what we're going to do? On the very next page, we're going to offer you this. All right, I got it all set up. Now, listen, we got a system here. All right, none of this is haphazard. Everything here is planned and strategic. I know exactly what I'm doing. So work on your game. We got this whole thing covered. All y'all got to do is stay tuned, stay close. I got a lot more game to give y'all. I got more game to give y'all than we really got time, honestly. We're going to keep it real. So everybody stay tuned. I will be on this live tomorrow. Let me see. I got one more question. Thank you for helping me be a better me. Absolutely. I'm glad to do that. That's what I do. That's what I'm here to do. And then once you get the game, you can get somebody else the game. Swan said, do you know Relentless by Tim Grover's? What's your opinion of it? Yeah, I think it was a great book. So that's it. So everybody, I think Working the Game is a better book, but I'm glad he wrote his book too. Everybody got a space. So there's enough space out here for everybody to eat. He said, you're the first person to pronounce it like that. Others say it literally. I appreciate you, man. I love your work. That's what's up. What flag is that? What country is that? Is that Ireland? Italy? I don't know. I'm about to end this, but you can tell me tomorrow. So everybody, I'm going live again tomorrow. Just be here, same time, wherever you at on this live. Work on your game. We out of here.